The champagne hit Mena's chest before she even saw it coming. The entire ballroom went silent. 200 wedding guests froze mid-celebration, staring at the black woman in the wheelchair with Dom Perignon streaming down her face, soaking her dress, dripping onto the floor. "You think you can just replace me?" David stood over her, bottle in his fist, drunk, wild-eyed, his white shirt wrinkled like he'd slept in it. He poured again, harder this time, champagne splashing violently across her chest and lap. "You think anyone else will want you?" Mena didn't flinch. She'd planned 300 weddings in 5 years. She knew how to handle disasters. Even when the disaster was her ex-fiancé losing his mind at someone else's reception. "David," her voice cut through the silence, "you need to leave. Now."
"Oh, so now you give orders," he laughed, stumbling closer.
The bride's family stood frozen in horror. Security hadn't reached them yet. "2 days ago, you were begging me to marry you." That was a lie, a complete lie. Well, mostly a lie. Mena had texted him yesterday morning, one final message asking if they could talk before calling off the wedding. He'd left her on read. Then, this morning, he'd sent a single text. "I can't marry someone broken, you understand." She'd understood perfectly, but she'd had a job to do. The Whitmore Chen wedding had been booked for 18 months, deposit paid, venue secured, 400 guests RSVP'd. Mena Carter didn't cancel. Ever. So she'd put on her beautiful dress, painted her face, rolled into this venue, and made magic happen for a bride who actually got her happily ever after. And now David was here, drunk, cruel, determined to humiliate her in front of everyone. "You know what your problem is?" David leaned down, his breath reeking of whiskey. "You actually believed someone could love you like this, in that chair, needing help with everything. Touch her again, and you'll need help breathing." The voice came from behind David, deep, accented, absolutely lethal. Mena looked past her ex, and her breath caught. The man was tall, maybe 6'2", with jet black hair styled sharp enough to cut glass. His suit probably cost more than her car. Everything about him screamed money and danger in equal measure. His eyes were dark, focused entirely on David, like a predator selecting prey. "Who the hell are you?" David spun around, swaying. "The owner of this building, which means you're trespassing." The stranger's accent wrapped around each word. Korean, Mena realized. He moved closer with a kind of confidence that made security guards step aside. "It also means I decide what happens next. This is between me and my fiancé, ex-fiancé." Mena's voice was steel. "We're done, David. We've been done." David turned back to her, his face twisted with spite. "Done? Baby, you'll never be done with me, because nobody else," he gestured at her wheelchair, "nobody else is going to deal with all this." What happened next took 3 seconds. The Korean man moved, one hand on David's shoulder, a pressure point maybe, or just raw strength. But suddenly, David was on his knees, gasping. "Apologize to her." The stranger's voice never rose above conversational. Somehow, that made it worse. "Now." I'm sorry." "Not to me, to her." David's eyes found Mena's. "I'm sorry." Mena said nothing, just stared at the man she'd almost married, seeing him clearly for the first time. Small, weak, pathetic. The stranger released him, snapped his fingers, Two security guards appeared instantly, hauling David toward the exit. The drunk man's protests faded as the ballroom doors closed behind him. Mena realized she'd been holding her breath. The stranger knelt smoothly, bringing himself to her eye level. Up close, his features were striking: sharp jawline, a small scar above his left eyebrow, eyes that saw entirely too much. He pulled a silk handkerchief from his jacket and gently, so gently, wiped the champagne from her cheek. "You're bleeding." "I'm fine." "You're a terrible liar." He showed her the handkerchief, dotted with red where glass had cut her. "There's a private lounge upstairs, medical kit, unless you'd prefer to stay here while 200 people pretend they're not staring." He was right. Every guest was watching them with phones half raised, desperate to know what just happened. "The bride is crying happy tears with her new husband. You did your job. Now let someone take care of you for 5 minutes." "Why do you care?" His expression shifted, something almost vulnerable underneath all that control. "Because I know what it's like when people only see what's broken. And you're not broken. You're magnificent." Mena stared at him. Nobody had called her magnificent in 2 years. Not since the accident that crushed her spine and made her question her existence. Not since her entire life became defined by wheels and limits and pity. "Who are you?" "Lee Min. And you're Mena Carter, the wedding planner who just saved this event from total disaster." He stood, moved behind her wheelchair. "May I? We should talk." "About what?" His eyes locked on hers. "About how I'm going to marry you in 48 hours. My love, welcome back to Afro-Korean storytelling. Hit that subscribe button, because what happens next will shock you." The bar on the ground floor of the Grand Meridian buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, and the low hum of a band warming up for the night crowd. Mena rolled in through the side entrance, lipstick smudged, dress slightly wrinkled, but still stunning. People turned to look. Of course they did. A black woman in a beautiful ballroom gown and wheelchair was not an everyday sight. "Stare a little harder, why don't you?" she whispered under her breath, fingers tightening on the wheels. Tasha was already at the far end of the bar, arms folded, foot tapping, eyes wide with questions. She rushed over the moment she saw Mena. "Okay, I'm here. What happened? Did David show up? Do I need bail money?" Mena huffed out something that was almost a laugh. "No bail money. He's gone." "Gone where?" "Out of my life. Hopefully into traffic." "Oop." Tasha crouched down to be eye level. "Start talking. You texted me I'm about to do something really stupid. I left something really important I was doing for this." Mena glanced around the bar. Her heart lurched when she spotted him. Lee was exactly where he said he'd be, leaning against the far end of the bar, one hand in his pocket, whiskey in the other, like he had all the time in the world. Even in this crowd, he stood out. People made space around him without realizing they were doing it. "That's him," Mena murmured. "That's who?" Tasha followed her gaze. Then her eyes widened. Oh, he's fine. Don't say that out loud," Mena hissed. "He's probably dangerous." "Yeah, baby, that's half the fine." Mena's stomach did a strange flip as Lee's gaze locked with hers across the room. No smile, no wave, just a small nod, like he'd expected her to come. He pushed off the bar and started walking toward them. "Okay, act normal. No, not that normal. Less normal. I don't know. Mena, Tasha whispered, eyes never leaving Lee as he approached. Who is this? The owner of the building, of the whiskey, of this terrible idea. Lee stopped a respectful distance from Mena's chair and Tasha's very obvious suspicion. You came. His tone was flat, but there was something almost like approval under it. Don't sound so surprised. I'm not. You don't seem like the type to run. Tasha stepped between them just enough to make a point. Hi, best friend, emotional support human. Who are you again, sir?
Lee Min-jun. He inclined his head slightly. Owner of the Grand Meridian. Oh, so money. Profit. Mena nudged Tasha lightly with her elbow. Tosh, I'm just saying. Context. Lee's attention returned fully to Mena, as if the rest of the bar didn't exist. Have you considered my proposal? Tasha whipped her head around. Proposal? Proposal? Breathe, Mena muttered. I'm thinking. Lee nodded toward a quieter corner booth. We should talk where people aren't recording us. Mena followed his gaze. A few patrons were definitely sneaking photos, pretending not to look. Fine. He moved behind her wheelchair, hands hovering near the handles without touching. May I? That pause, that question, earned the smallest flicker of respect from her. Yeah, you may. He guided her carefully through the crowd, matching his pace to her comfort, never jerking or pushing too hard. Tasha stalked beside them like a bodyguard. The corner booth was tucked away, half hidden by a decorative screen and a giant plant. Lee positioned Mena's chair at the table before sitting opposite her. Tasha slid in beside her, arms folded, eyes sharp. Okay, Mena said, heart pounding. Talk. You want the simple version or the truth? The truth is the simple version. Fair enough. He laced his fingers on the table. My family and soul runs an organization. To them, I'm an asset to be traded. They're trying to force me into an arranged marriage with the daughter of another powerful family. Tasha frowned. Like mafia? If that word makes it easier for you, then yes, like mafia. The word hit Mena like a jolt. Mafia. Of course. So you're telling me I almost married a coward, and now you're offering me a crime lord? Lee's eyes flicked to her. I'm telling you that my life is already dangerous. Adding you to it does not change that danger. It just makes you visible. Wow, comforting. If I show up married, legally, publicly, to someone outside all their plans, they lose leverage. They can't use me as a bargaining chip in a merger. They look weak if they try. I gain time to restructure what I control over here. And what do you control over here exactly? Clubs, real estate, restaurants, import-export interests. Some clean, some not as clean as I'd like them to be. I'm working on that. You're telling us this like you're ordering from a menu, Tasha muttered. There's no pretty way to dress it up. Why me? Mena asked quietly. You could hire an actress, a model, someone who doesn't come with wheels. Because you don't scare easily, his gaze didn't waver. Because you faced a room full of people alone instead of hiding in a bathroom. Because you didn't beg your ex to stay. Because when I walked into that lounge, you didn't look at me like I was your savior. You looked at me like I was interrupting your breakdown. That was uncomfortably accurate. You barely know me. What I know is enough for business. You're angry enough to do something reckless.
You're proud enough not to crawl back to a man who humiliated you. You have no criminal record, no ties to my world, and a public image that says, hardworking professional, tragic accident, inspiring comeback. So I'm good PR? You're a shield, he said plainly, and a statement. I chose a wife. They don't get to. That's all I am to you? A statement? That's what you are to them. To me, you're a solution and a risk. You are terrible at flattery. I'm not trying to flatter you. I'm trying to make sure you understand exactly what you'd be walking into. Walking is a strong word. For the first time, something like amusement touched his eyes. Rolling into, then. Tasha leaned in. Okay, logistics. You said 6 months. What's that look like? We get legally married. We live together, publicly, separate rooms if that's what you want. We attend events as a couple. You play the role of the woman I chose over their carefully arranged bride. In 6 months, once things settle, we file for divorce. You walk away with $100,000 and no ties to my family. Roll away, Mena muttered. Roll away, free and clear. Assuming they don't kill me in the meantime. They won't go that far. Killing you would make them look desperate and sloppy. They'll try intimidation first, pressure, maybe bribes. Oh good, just intimidation. And I'll have security on you at all times. You'll be protected. Like I was protected from my fiancé bailing by text. I'm not your ex. The air between them thickened. He meant it. That much Mena believed. What if I say no? Then I walk away, find another solution, and you figure out how to deal with 150 people whispering about the bride who got left for being too much responsibility. The words stung because they were exactly what she feared. Do you always fight this dirty? Only when the stakes are high. Mena stared at the condensation ring under her untouched drink. On one side, humiliation, debt, and starting over from the ashes of today. On the other, danger, mafia families, pretending to love a stranger for 6 months, and $100,000. What if I start to like you? She asked suddenly, then cursed herself internally. One corner of his mouth twitched. Statistically unlikely, most people don't. I'm starting to see why. Then you'll be safe from that complication. Of course he would frame emotional attachment as a complication. Mena. He leaned forward, forearms on the table. You don't owe me anything. You saying no will not offend me. But if you say yes, I will treat this like every other contract in my life. I will honor it. I will protect you. I will not leave you wondering where I stand. Can your ex say the same? Her chest tightened. No, David couldn't say that. She glanced at Tasha. Her best friend looked scared, furious, and, weirdly, proud. If you do this, Tasha said quietly, there's no going back to normal. Normal left when that car hit us, Mena replied. This is just a different kind of crazy. 150,000. He tilted his head. Excuse me? You heard me. 100,000 barely covers today's humiliation and my medical debt. You want a wife who can stand, sit, beside a mafia prince and not flinch? Hazard pay, 150, paid in full before the divorce. Something flickered in his eyes. Respect. You negotiate well under pressure. I plan weddings for a living. Pressure is Tuesday. Done, he said. 150, Half wired this week, half on finalized divorce. Half wired before the wedding, she countered. I'm not walking into your world on store credit. Deal. He extended his hand across the table. If I take this, she said softly, my life changes forever. Your life already changed. I'm just offering you a way to aim the damage. Mena swallowed, looked at his hand, looked at Tasha, looked at the future she thought she lost. Fine. If she was going to be shattered, she might as well choose how the pieces fell. She placed her hand in his. His grip was warm, steady. Congratulations, Mena Carter, Lee said softly. You've just agreed to marry the wrong man for all the right reasons. Across the bar, a man in a dark suit raised his phone and snapped a photo of their joined hands. He sent it to an unknown contact with a single message. He chose the girl in the wheelchair. The handshake should have felt like a business deal. Instead, it felt like standing on the edge of a cliff and leaning forward. Mena pulled her hand back slowly, fingers tingling. So that's it. I'm just engaged again? Technically, Lee said, you're pre-contracted. The engagement starts when the wire hits your account. You already have my account details? You paid a deposit to this venue 3 months ago. My finance department has everything. Wow, creepy. Efficient. That's another word for it. Tasha slapped her palm on the table. Okay, slow down. Y'all are talking like this is a group project and not a felony-adjacent life choice. It's not a felony to get married, Lee said, even for the wrong reasons. It's a felony to get shot at because you married the wrong people. Mena rubbed her temples. Her head hurt. Her heart hurt. Everything hurt. But under the pain, there was a strange, sharp clarity. If I don't do this, she said quietly, I go home as the girl who got left because she was too much work. I refund what I can. I drown in debt. I smile at clients and pretend I'm not broken. You're not broken, Tasha insisted. They don't see that, Tosh. They see the chair first, then the accident, then the pity, then the excuses. So pick your poison, Lee said. Pity or danger. You're really bad at sales. And yet, here we are. Mena straightened a little in her chair. If I say yes, what happens next? Exactly. Next, Lee said, you go home, you sleep, you block your ex on every platform. Tomorrow morning, my lawyer brings the prenup and marriage contract. You read every word. You get your own lawyer to review it if you want. I do want. Good. After that, we schedule a small civil ceremony, paperwork filed, legal within 72 hours at most. What about them? She didn't say mafia, didn't have to. My family already monitors everything I do, he said. Once the marriage is on public record, the Kang family will know by the end of the day. And they just accept it? No, they'll test it. And us. Fantastic. Which is why you will not be alone again. Not in public, not at home, not until I know exactly what they're planning. So I'm on lockdown now? You're on protection. There's a difference. Feels the same from a wheelchair. Then we'll design it around your comfort, but I won't apologize for keeping you alive. The certainty in his voice made something unclench in her chest. David had looked at her like a burden. Lee looked at her like a responsibility. Not romantic, but solid. I need to tell my parents, she muttered. Tasha groaned. Oh, your mama is going to speak in tongues. She already almost fainted when she heard David humiliated me at that wedding reception, Mena said. If I call her and say, surprise, I'm marrying a Korean nightclub mafia-ish stranger for money, she might actually ascend. Lee tilted his head. You don't have to tell them everything. Have you ever met a Nigerian mother? There's no such thing as not everything. Then you tell her, he said slowly, that after being humiliated, you made a decision that benefits you, a decision that puts you first, and that your new fiancé is rich enough and stubborn enough to protect you. You really think that'll work? African mothers like two things, he said, results and respect. I can offer both. Tasha stared at him. You have experience with African mothers? I have experience with mothers who think their son's life belongs to them. Culture is just a different wrapper. Okay, bars. Mena pulled her phone from her clutch. The screen was full of missed calls and messages. Mom, Dad, Auntie Ronke, David, blocked on sight, and a string of texts from cousins. I'm going to tell her now, she said, before I chicken out. Do you want privacy? Lee asked. No, she admitted. If she starts praying against witches, I need witnesses. She hit call, put the phone on speaker. Tasha grabbed her hand under the table. Mena, where are you? What is going on? People are talking. Your aunt is telling everyone what happened. Mommy, calm down. How can I calm down? Where is David? What happened? David is gone, Mena said. Saying it out loud burned, but it also freed something. He left. He said he couldn't marry me because of my situation. He said, what? Ah, God will judge. Mummy, listen. I'm listening. I am not begging him to come back. I am not canceling my life because he is a coward. I'm making a different choice. What choice? I'm getting married, Mena said, to someone else. To who? Mena, don't joke with me. My blood pressure. His name is Lee Jae-min. He owns the venue. He's successful. He's serious. And he doesn't see me as a burden. And before you say anything, this is my decision. I'm not being forced. You met him when? Today. Today? Are you mad? Have they charmed you? Is it Jazz? Tasha. Tasha leaned toward the phone. Hi, Mommy. It's not Jazz, I promise. I met him too. He's intense. But he took care of her when David showed up acting crazy. David was there? He threw champagne at her. Jesus. Mommy, Mena said quietly. He humiliated me in front of everyone. Lee stepped in, protected me, treated me with respect, offered me something that benefits me. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm tired of letting life happen to me. I'm making this choice. There was a long exhale on the other end. When her mother spoke again, her voice was smaller. Mena, are you sure? Truly sure? No, Mena admitted. I'm not sure. I'm scared. But I was scared when I started this business. I was scared after the accident. Fear didn't stop me then. It's not stopping me now. Put him on the phone. Mena looked at Lee. She wants you. He held out his hand for the phone. She gave it to him like she was passing over her life. Good evening, ma'am. This is Lee. You want to marry my daughter? Yes. Why? Because your daughter is brave, intelligent, and refuses to let anyone define her by what she lost instead of what she built, he said. Because she looked at the worst day of her life and still chose to stand or roll on her own. Because I need a partner who won't collapse when things get hard, and she has already survived harder than most. Tasha mouths, oh my God. You talk plenty, her mother said slowly, but can you protect her? With everything I have. You are not African. You don't understand how we marry. We don't just try for 6 months and throw away. I understand obligation very well, he said. I also understand choice. Your daughter is choosing this with open eyes. If you give your blessing, I will do everything in my power to make sure she never regrets it. If you hurt her, then I hope God has more mercy on me than you will. He gets it. Mena's mother sighed. Mena. Yes, Mummy. Bring him to the house. Tomorrow. We will talk. Properly. Until then, come home. Take off that dress. You have cried enough for one day. Okay. And Mena? Yes? If I see that David boy near you again, I will forget I am a deaconess. Yes, Ma. Mena sagged a little in her chair. Well, that went not as badly as it could have. Tasha fanned herself. Sir, you gave Nigerian mother answers. I'm low-key scared of you. Lee slid the phone back to Mena. Winning over mothers is the hardest part of any negotiation. You talk about my mother like she's a board meeting. She's scarier than most boards. Mena looked at him, really looked. "Tomorrow," she said, "we meet my family, we sign contracts, we start this." "Yes." "What happens before tomorrow?" He glanced around. The man in the dark suit who had taken their photo was gone. His jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "Before tomorrow," he said quietly, "I make sure the right people know you're no longer available." "Available for what?" "Leverage." Somewhere across the city, in a dim office, a phone buzzes. A gloved hand opens the message with their photo. A woman's voice, cold and amused, says in Korean, "So, Lee chose a disabled bride. How interesting." By the time Mena wheeled into her apartment, the adrenaline had worn off, leaving nothing but exhaustion and a pounding headache. She let the door swing shut behind her and leaned back against it, eyes closed. Tasha locked the deadbolt and tossed her keys into the bowl by the door. "You good?" "No." "Fair. You want tea, food, or to cry until you can't see?" "All of the above." The small one-bedroom smelled faintly of eucalyptus and vanilla, left over from a self-care phase Mena barely remembered starting. She wheeled past the gallery wall of framed photos. Her parents smiling on a beach. Her and Tasha in university hoodies. One of her and David at some charity gala, his arm around her shoulders, both of them laughing. She stopped, reached up, took that last frame off the wall. "We're not doing that anymore," she muttered. She placed the photo face down on the console table, not ready to throw it away, not willing to look at it either. "You want rice and stew or just noodles?" Tasha asked, already rummaging through cabinets. "Noodles, less memory." "Less memory?" "My mom cooked stew. David loved stew." "Noodles it is." Her phone buzzed again. This time, an unknown number with a +82 country code. "Great," she muttered. "International problems." "Hello? Is this Miss Carter?" "Who's asking?" "My name is Seo Jin. I'm Mr. Lee Min-jun's attorney." "Oh, okay. Yes, this is Mena. Mr. Lee asked me to send over preliminary documents for your review tonight, so you can discuss them with your counsel tomorrow. Is that acceptable?" "You people don't waste time, do you?" "Time is a luxury in our world, Miss Carter. I've emailed you a secure link. The password is the name of the venue where you met." "That's not subtle." "Subtlety is also a luxury. Good night." Mena lowered the phone slowly. Well, that was terrifyingly efficient. "Who was that?" Tasha shouted over the sound of boiling water. "His lawyer. Documents are already on their way." She wheeled over to her small desk, woke up her laptop, and opened her email. One new message. Draft marriage agreement. Confidential. No pressure. She entered the password, and the document opened. Pages of clauses, headings, subsections. It was like planning a wedding, but for lawyers. Every possible disaster already imagined. Section 1. Duration of contractual marriage. 6 months from date of filing. Section 2. Financial arrangements. $150,000, half to be deposited within 72 hours of legal marriage, remaining half within 30 days of finalized divorce. Oh, he really agreed to that. Tasha appeared with 2 steaming bowls of noodles, setting one by the keyboard. "Let me see. Tosh, girl, he's covering your medical debt and your business loan and putting your name on one of his legit properties as collateral. Oh, he's serious. Or paranoid." Her eyes moved down the page. Section 3. Living arrangements. Parties agree to cohabitate at primary residence located at... He already picked the apartment. "Of course he did," Tasha said. "Control freak alert." Section 4. Physical boundaries. No physical intimacy required or expected. Any intimacy that occurs will be considered consensual and outside the scope of obligation. He put that in writing? At least he's not trying to sneak in conjugal duties like small print. "Look here," Tasha said, scrolling. Section 5. Security. Party B, that's you, agrees not to deliberately evade assigned security personnel while threats remain active. So I have to ask permission to go to the grocery store now? Baby, you do Instacart. Don't act brand new. That's not the point. I know, Tasha said. The point is, this is real. This isn't a joke or a fling. He's giving you money, protection, and access. But he's also tying you to his mess for 6 months. My life is already a mess. Your life is complicated, Tasha corrected. There's a difference. Mena skimmed the rest. NDA clauses, public behavior expectations, a section about not speaking to press without joint approval. He really thought of everything. So do you, Tasha said. When you plan a wedding, you think about flowers, catering, weather, aunties who fight, exes who might show up. This is the same thing, just with guns. Not helping. This time, it was a text. Lee, check your bank app in 10 minutes. Partial deposit. Proof of good faith. Of course. Mena, you don't waste time, do you? No, tomorrow is already late. Also, block your ex. He called my front desk twice asking for you. That won't happen again. He what? What happened? Tasha asked. David tried to call him twice. He's going to learn today. A small, unexpected warmth bloomed in Mena's chest. Not attraction, not yet, just relief. David used to ignore problems until they exploded. Lee intercepted them before they hit her. Tasha, yeah? What if I get used to that, to having someone like that in my corner, and then in 6 months, it's gone? Then you'll cry, a lot, and I'll bring ice cream and threaten his life, and then you'll move on, like you always do. Always makes it sound easier than it is. It's never easy. You just do it anyway. A notification flashed at the top of her screen. Deposit received, $75,000. Oh my God. Tasha leaned closer. Girl, that's real money. I know. $75,000. That was the entire balance of her medical debt. The physical therapy bills insurance didn't cover, the adjustments to her apartment, the specialized chair. Do you know what this means? It means you're not drowning anymore, Tasha said. It means the accident doesn't own me financially. Mena wiped at her cheeks, laughing and crying at the same time. I might actually be able to breathe again. And all you have to do, Tasha said gently, is survive 6 months pretending to be married to a dangerously fine, terrifyingly organized Korean man with mafia ties. When you say it like that, it sounds crazy. It is crazy, but it's your crazy. Mena closed the laptop. Okay, I'm doing it. You sure? Fully sure? Last chance to back out before we meet Nigerian parents and Korean crime lawyers in one day. No backing out. Tomorrow I sign. Tomorrow I meet his world. And tomorrow he meets mine. That's my girl. Promise you won't leave, even if I start to regret it? I'll be right there, front row. If anything looks funny, I'm flipping tables. Deal. They ate noodles on the couch, Netflix playing something neither of them really watched. At some point, Mena fell asleep sitting upright, bowl empty on her lap. Tasha took the bowl away, draped a blanket over her, and stared at her best friend's sleeping face. Please, God, she murmured, if these people hurt her, don't let me catch a case. The next morning, light streamed through thin curtains. Mena's phone buzzed with a new message. Lee, car will be outside your building at 9 a.m. My lawyer will be with me. Bring your ID and your courage. She stared at the last word. Courage, huh? Outside her apartment building, a black sedan idled at the curb. Half a block away, another car sat with its engine off. Inside, a woman with sharp eyes and a neat bun watched Mena's window and made a note on her phone. Target accepted the bait. At 8:59 a.m., Mena sat by her living room window, watching the street below like it might change its mind. The black sedan was right where Lee said it would be, sleek, tinted, intimidating. Tasha, you ready?
I've been ready since 8. I'm not meeting Mafia adjacent in my bonnet. Fair. Mena smoothed her dark green jumpsuit, the fabric tailored to sit perfectly around her chair. Clean braids pulled into a low bun, light makeup. No wedding planner uniform today. No bride, just Mena. Tasha emerged in jeans and a fitted blouse, earrings on, face serious. Okay, how we feeling? Scale of 1 to I'm about to elope with a criminal. Somewhere between job interview and court sentencing. You look powerful. I look like I Googled respectable future daughter-in-law outfit at 3 a.m. 9 a.m. exactly. The intercom buzzed. Mena reached for it. Hello? Ms. Carter? This is Daniel, Mr. Lee's driver. We're downstairs when you're ready. We'll be right there. Tasha grabbed her bag. Last chance to pretend you're not home. I signed up for this. I'm not hiding. The moment they rolled out of the building, the driver stepped forward. Tall, black, mid-40s, neutral expression, dark suit. Good morning, Miss Carter, Miss Tasha. He opened the rear door. Mr. Lee is inside. Mena wheeled closer. For a second, she caught a glimpse of another car parked half a block down, the same one from earlier. Tinted, engine off. She felt eyes on her. You see that? She murmured. Tasha's jaw tightened. Yeah, I don't like it. Get in. Lee's voice floated from inside. That alone made her shoulders drop half an inch. Daniel folded Mena's wheelchair with practiced ease, careful and efficient. He'd done this before, for someone else maybe. The thought lingered as he helped her into the car. Inside, the sedan felt like another world. Leather seats, faint cologne, and the hum of the city reduced to a distant murmur. Lee sat opposite, in a dark gray suit this time, white shirt open at the collar. No tie. Less formal. More dangerous. Next to him sat a woman in her 30s, Korean. Sharp bob haircut, glasses, charcoal blazer, tablet in hand. Ms. Carter? Ms. Tasha? I'm attorney Park So-jin. We spoke last night. Right. The voice that made my spine straighten through the phone. I get that a lot. Lee's gaze swept over Mena. You slept? Eventually. The deposit went through. Yeah, in case that was a glitch, feel free to send it again. His mouth twitched. Duly noted. We'll go through the papers at my office first, he said. Then we'll visit your parents. You say that so casually. I face armed men for a living. Your mother is the more formidable opponent. Facts, Tasha agreed. The car pulled away from the curb. By the way, Mena said, glancing back at the street, there was another car watching my building. Lee's jaw tightened. His eyes flicked to the driver's rear view. Daniel? Yes, sir. Same sedan as last night. No plates on record. We have a tail car on them. Mena's blood went cold. Last night? After the wire, Lee said quietly, I assumed they'd take an interest. We don't ignore patterns like that. So people have been watching my house all night. Not just them. He nodded toward the window. For the first time, she noticed a second car merge behind them. Same make and color as Lee's. That one is mine. Great. I have stalkers and a mini motorcade. Welcome to my Tuesday, Lee said. The elevator doors opened onto a floor of glass walls and muted colors. Discreet luxury. People moved with quiet purpose. You didn't mention you own a whole skyscraper, Mena muttered. I own 3 floors of it, Lee replied. Ambition has limits, says the man who wire transferred 75 grand like it was lunch money. Tasha nudged her. Stop saying the amount out loud, sis. IRS might be in the ceiling. The funds are clean, the lawyer said. This office is as legitimate as it gets. Comforting, Mena said, given the other parts are not. They entered a glass-walled conference room with a long table, city views stretching out beyond. Neat stacks of documents waited at one end, pens, sticky flags, water bottles, like a seminar in life-ruining decisions. Please, Seo-jin gestured, sit where you like. Mena raised a brow. Limited options. My apologies, the lawyer said immediately. I meant position, not... It's fine. Mena rolled to the head of the table, facing the window. If she was signing away 6 months of her life, she might as well do it with a view. Tasha took the chair beside her. Lee sat at an angle across, not crowding, but close enough that she could feel his attention like a weight. We can go through the summary version, Seo-jin said. Then you can review every clause at your own pace. Nothing is final until you sign. Good. Section 1. Duration and dissolution. 6 months from the date your marriage is legally recorded. Either party can request early dissolution only if both agree, and only after all security risks are mitigated. Meaning, I can't just wake up in 3 months and say, I'm bored, bye. Correct, Seo-jin said. You'd still be under his family's scrutiny. Your safety would be compromised. Right. Safety. Section 2. Financial arrangements. What you saw last night. Medical debt cleared. Business loan refinanced under better terms. Immediate cash compensation. And 1 commercial unit placed under joint temporary ownership. Commercial unit? A small storefront in one of our safer properties, Lee said. If anything happens to your current office, you have a fallback. Why do you keep planning for things happening to my office? Because people like the Kangs send messages through things you care about. Well, Mena said, joke's on them. I care more about my people. Lee held her gaze a moment, then looked away. Section 3. Living arrangements. You will reside in Mr. Lee's penthouse. There are already accessibility features in place. Already? For who? My mother, Lee said. She used a wheelchair for the last 5 years of her life. Oh. The modifications are still there. If anything needs adjusting, we'll do it. Her throat felt tight. That's considerate. Section 4. Public conduct. You will attend certain events as a couple. No public contradiction of the relationship narrative. No media interviews without prior joint approval. So, no revenge TikToks. Strongly discouraged, the lawyer said. Section 5. Security protocol. You'll have assigned protection any time you leave the building. You agree not to deliberately evade them. You all really don't trust me to go get coffee in peace? I trust you to underestimate how far my enemies will go. I don't underestimate danger. I got hit by a car at a stoplight. Then you understand why I don't play with maybes. Fair. Section 6. Confidentiality. No discussion of family operations, rivalries, or internal matters with third parties. That includes friends, extended family, and social media. Tasha raised a hand. So if I see a man with a tattooed neck and a gun, I can't tweet, "My bestie married into GTA"? Correct. Y'all are no fun. As the lawyer flipped to the last page, Mena's eyes caught something in a paragraph near the bottom. One name underlined in Korean and English. Kang Industries? Lee's expression sharpened. What about them?
It says here, if anything happens to me due to direct or indirect actions linked to the Kang family, certain contingencies trigger. Yes, you put their name in my paperwork because they're the only ones reckless enough to target you personally. And they know that now? As of last night, yes. How? One of their people was at the bar. He sent a photo. You knew and you didn't tell me? Telling you then wouldn't have changed their interest, he said quietly. All it would have done is make you more afraid. I deserve to be afraid if I'm in danger, Lee. You're right. I should have said something sooner. You don't have to sign today, the lawyer reminded her. Read it. Think about it. Get your own lawyer. Mena looked down at the papers, at her name, at Lee's, at all the contingencies, the fears, the protections, the traps. I'll have a lawyer look at it, she said. I'm not stupid. Good, Lee said. But I'm also not running, she added. You already painted a target on my back just by considering me. I'd rather face it with power than sit in my apartment hoping they forget I exist. Their eyes met. Something solidified there, mutual recognition. Then we'll schedule the civil ceremony for after your attorney reviews everything. Speaking of, Lee said, glancing at his watch, we need to go. Your mother will not appreciate lateness. No, she will not. As Mena turned her chair toward the door, her phone buzzed again. You looked beautiful last night. Shame you chose the wrong groom. Her fingers went cold. Lee. He took the phone, jaw tightening as he read. When did you get this? Just now. Trace it, now, and put extra cars on her building. He handed the phone back. This is what I meant, he said quietly. They're watching. Then let them watch, Mena said, forcing her voice to steady. Because they're about to see me walk, roll, into this with my head up. In a shadowed office across town, Mrs. Kang watched Mena's photo on her screen. She has courage, she said in Korean. Good. It's more satisfying when they fight back. The black sedan turned off the main road into Mena's parents' neighborhood, trading glass towers for modest houses and parked cars squeezed too close together. Mena watched familiar streets roll by. Mrs. Adeyemi's yellow bungalow, the corner store with the faded sign, the church whose choir she used to hear on Sunday mornings before the accident. This feels more dangerous than the contract, she murmured. Because it is, Tasha said. Your mother has sandal accuracy from 20 feet. Daniel slowed in front of a cream-colored house with a blue door and potted plants lined up like soldiers on the steps. We've arrived, sir. Mena's stomach flipped. You sure we can't just say the car broke down? No. Thought so. The air outside felt thicker here, heavier with expectations. Daniel opened Mena's door and helped her transfer smoothly, then unfolded her chair with a practiced snap. Tasha adjusted Mena's blazer, fussing with an imaginary wrinkle. You got this, she whispered. You face cartel vibes now. Nigerian parents are light work. You say that because she's not your mother. Lee came around the car, jacket buttoned, expression composed, but more serious than she'd ever seen it. Mena eyed him. Okay, quick rules, she said under her breath. Don't interrupt her when she's praying. Don't call her by her first name. Don't sit until she tells you to. And if she offers you food, you say yes, even if you're full. Understood. You look tense. Because I am, he said. My father never cared what any woman thought of me, including my mother. This is new.
You'll survive. I've survived gunfire. Let's hope this is similar. The front door swung open before they could knock. You are late. Mena's mother stood framed in the doorway, wrapper tied tightly around her waist, headscarf in place, eyes sharp enough to cut steel. Hi, Mummy. Her gaze raked over Lee in one sweeping motion, shoes to hair. No smile, no welcome, just evaluation. Good afternoon, ma'am, Lee said, stepping forward slightly. Thank you for seeing me. We will see if I should be thanking you. She moved aside. Come in. The living room smelled like stew and lemon cleaner. Family photos crowded every wall. Mena at different ages, her parents younger, relatives at parties. A framed picture of David sat on a side table, turned slightly away. Mena's jaw tightened. We're moving that later, she muttered. My baby. Her father emerged from the hallway, wiping his hands on a dish towel. His eyes softened the moment he saw her. Mena. Daddy. He bent and hugged her, careful of the chair, one hand on the backrest like he was anchoring them both. When he straightened, his gaze shifted to Lee. So, this is the man. Yes, sir, Lee said. Lee Min-jun. I am Kola Carter. His handshake was firm, testing. Lee matched it without squeezing too hard. Mena's mother clapped her hands once. Sit, she ordered, then looked at Lee pointedly. Not there, there. He moved to the indicated armchair like it was a throne, and she was the queen. He follows instructions. I like him. Hush. Mena rolled to her usual spot near the sofa. Tasha perched beside her. Mena's mother took the opposite couch, her father sitting next to her. For a moment, nobody spoke. The ticking wall clock sounded obnoxiously loud. You say you want to marry my daughter. Yes, ma'am. After meeting her one day. Yes. Why? Because she is strong, he said simply. Because she stood in front of a room full of people who came to watch her dream and told them the truth instead of hiding. Because she has built a business after pain most people would never recover from. Because she is not afraid to look me in the eye when most men twice my size cannot. Mena stared at him. He hadn't said any of that to her. You talk like a man who has practiced speeches. I talk like a man used to negotiating for things that matter, Lee said. Your daughter matters. Her father's expression flickered. What do you do, Mr. Lee? I own several businesses, sir. Clubs, restaurants, properties. Some inherited, some built. And your family? Where are they? In Seoul, South Korea. And they know you are here, chasing my daughter? They know where I am. They do not approve of my choices. Which choices? My daughter or your life? Both. How old are you? 32. And you have never married before? No, sir. Women? There have been relationships. None. Right. And suddenly my child is right in one day? Suddenly, your child was braver than most people I know, he said. And I need someone beside me who doesn't fold when life is ugly. She is in a wheelchair. The way she said it, matter of fact, not cruel, not soft either. Yes, you know she cannot run if things are bad. She cannot carry your children. She will need help sometimes. Then we will move slower when we run, he said. We will find other ways to build a family, and I will be the one helping, not resenting. Something in the older man's shoulders eased. And you. Her voice softened, but just barely. You are sure. You are not just reacting because that foolish boy disgraced you. I'm reacting, Mena admitted. but I'm also deciding. David showed me what fear looks like. Lee is showing me what certainty looks like, even if it's wrapped in nonsense. Amen. You will be in danger. I was in danger when that car hit us, Mena said quietly. I am in danger every time someone pushes my chair wrong on a ramp. Life is risk. At least this time, I'm choosing the kind. Do you love him? He asked gently. No, she said. Not yet. I don't know him, but I respect him, and I think I could. Sometimes respect is a better beginning than foolish love. And you, she looked at Lee, you say you will protect her. How? With money? With bodyguards?
With all of that, he said, and with my choices. Your daughter will never be caught in the crossfire of my indecision. If I bring her into my world, she will know everything. I will not lie to her to keep her calm. I watched my mother die in a life she did not choose. I will not repeat that. He hadn't told her that part. Your mother? Stroke, wheelchair. People treated her as if she disappeared. My father used her as a symbol and shield. It killed her spirit long before her heart stopped. I will never let anyone treat Mena that way, including myself. You are asking for my child in the worst way at the worst time, she said, after she has already buried one future. I know, he replied. If I say no, we will respect it, Lee said. I will find another way, and I will make sure no one touches her because of this conversation. And you, if I say no? I'll cry, Mena said. Then I'll get up tomorrow and plan someone else's dream, like always. Finally, surrender wrapped in love. I don't like this, she said. I don't like that boy left you. I don't like that this man looks like trouble. I don't like any of it. I know, Mummy, but I like that you are choosing. I like that you lifted your head yesterday instead of hiding. She exhaled. So I will not stand in your way. Mena's chest loosened so fast it almost hurt. Thank you. If you break her, her mother said, jabbing a finger in his direction, you will see a side of African motherhood your ancestors did not prepare you for. Understood. Welcome, son, he said quietly. Thank you, sir. The sound cut through the fragile peace like a blade. Mena's father frowned. Who is that? Mena's phone buzzed at the same time. Unknown number. Another text. Nice house. Cozy. Come to the door, Mena. Lee? He stood, every line of his body sharpening. Let me see. He read the message, eyes going cold. Do you have another exit? Back door? Yes, in the kitchen. We have company at the front door. Move perimeter. Delivery for Miss Carter. Mena's mother whispered, We didn't order anything. If you enjoyed this episode, like this video and comment where you're watching from. Subscribe if you haven't, because what happens next will shock you.